Hi, welcome back to the Healing Temple. Today I'm going to talk about water and why you don't need to drink it as much as you think you do. Have you ever had the hunch that this stuff tastes like nothing? Why should I be drinking it? Have you ever had to force yourself to drink water because you don't like the taste of it, but you know you should be drinking it? That hunch, that aversion you may be having is actually maybe your body's intelligence speaking to you. Now, don't get me wrong, I love water. Water equals life, and it is so important to the lifeblood that sustains us on our whole planet. In other words, where there's no water, there's no life. And I love anything water. I used to base my life around where the cleanest, purest, and freest water was. I would drive an hour and a half all the way to the coast every week to collect many 5-gallon barrels of free natural spring water for my cooking and drinking needs. Shout out to Red Rock Springs in Marin County. And then I moved to Ojai because I know there was a free well there and because they had a great hot springs and lots of rivers. And so I've always been really connected with water. I used to be a representative for Mayu Water. It's a water vortexer that it's just, you can put it on your dining room table and it structures water so it's more bioavailable like fresh spring water is. If I didn't have that, I would put shungite crystals in my water to do the vortexing and purify it. I was, you could say, a water snob or a water connoisseur. I was very, very picky about the water I bathed in, I drank, and I cooked with, and I still am. And I could even taste plastic in water, or I could tell if the water was completely dead, or I could tell when water was fresh and alive and had a good pH. Water is one of my favorite elements. It's so healing. That's why it's amazing that I've come to this place where I don't drink water anymore. I actually get it through my food. Many people think just drinking water equals hydration, and many of you might know that you do need to add things to water to enhance its hydration, like electrolytes or minerals or salt. People think, though, if the more water you drink, the more hydrated you are, and that's simply just not true. In fact, water needs different elements attached to it or to be present in order to actually absorb, to make something hydrated, except maybe a sponge. So I'm going to read to you a passage from Aajonus Vonderplanitz's book in a few moments, and it's going to blow your mind. It's a whole nother perspective on water. And it might have you rethinking how you relate to water and the water that you drink. So if you've watched some of my other videos, you would likely know that I've been following Aajonus Vonderplanitz's raw primal diet for about 3 years now. And I have 2 of his books. One is The Recipe for Living Without Disease, and one is We Want to Live the Raw Primal Diet. These books can actually be found for free online. You can read the whole books. And I also read one of them, this one, on my YouTube channel, so you can listen to it on audio while you're driving. And then the recipes in this book are all online. Anyway, Aajonus helped many people heal, and myself included. And the way he did that was prescribing raw food, mostly raw animal-based food. And he has a lot of recipes in this book. And I have the site for the whole book linked down below. So even though he recommends mostly animal-based foods, he does also recommend vegetable juices and different vegetables and low-sugar fruits like tomatoes, coconut, cucumber, avocado. So the point I want to get across in this video is that if you eat raw food, then you don't need to drink water. And if you're eating raw food, you're eating the healthiest diet known to man. Side note, why is raw the healthiest diet? Because no other species in nature cooks their food. And humans are the sickest species on planet Earth. So add that up. So that's why this information is so important. We're all sick for many reasons. Lifestyle, stress. And we don't have to be, we don't have to age, we don't have to have decaying bodies. We can actually keep our bodies alive and radiant for much longer than we think. And one of those contributing factors is what we choose to eat every single day. So if you want to learn how and why cooked food causes disease, you can watch or read the book. This book on my channel or down using the link below. So that said, I'm going to read one small excerpt from this book that is, and it's the original source to the claim I'm making about water in this video. And I truly believe this because I'm living it. I'm eating now 90% raw foods, and I barely ever drink water. I only drink water if I have a really strong workout, or maybe I drink about a cup or two water a week. And I've been muscle testing it to see if I should drink water. And it most always says no. So I'm definitely asking my body, do you need water? Do you need water? And it says, no, I'm good. Sometimes it says yes, and I give it some water. Okay, so here's the excerpt from the recipe for living without disease on water. Water that is not in raw food has no active ions, electrolytes, nor minerals bound with nutrients. It must have all three properties, or it's only 10% cellularly utilizable. Water leaches nutrients from our blood and intestines and dilutes digestive juices so that when we eat, we do not digest or assimilate our food properly or efficiently. That leaching often causes waste to embed in body tissue rather than being discarded from the body. It is a false notion that water nurtures and hydrates tissue. In fact, water dries the cells while it bloats the body because 90% of it circulates in the blood serum without cellular absorption. That also applies to the H2O in cooked food. People who eat cooked food cannot absorb much of the H2O into their cells. Their cells become dehydrated. Most people who consume cooked and processed food, processed drinks, and water evaporate 2 quarts of water during the night. Most people who consume live raw food, including meat, milk, and vegetable juices, may evaporate only 2 pints throughout the night after they have been on this raw primal diet for several years. Water is never a good replacement for body fluids spent during evaporation or perspiration because cells cannot absorb it. Only H2O that is nutrient-bound in food properly replaces fluids. People believe that water lubricates the body. How can water lubricate anything? Fats lubricate. Try lubricating devices with water and they will disintegrate. Water disintegrates soil and rock so that plants can eat those particles. Drinking vast quantities of water also disintegrates the human body, causing frequent urination, a sense of being too cold in temperatures as high as 70 degrees Fahrenheit, weight loss in many people, and bloating in many others. Raw food contains from 55% to 92% H2O that is 92 to 100% cellularly utilizable. Dehydration is impossible on the raw primal diet when water is not consumed. I drink about 1 cup of water per week without exercise. I may drink a little more if involved in physical activity. I recommend that people drink raw milk and green vegetable juices and eat tomatoes to fill their H2O requirements. Most often, eating raw tomatoes and raw fat satisfies thirst and dryness, including dry mouth, better than other foods. When physically active, I drink 2 quarts of raw milk, 1 to 2 tomatoes, and up to 1.5 quarts of green vegetable juices per day that are all rich with nutrients to completely satisfy my H2O needs. To satisfy dry mouth and severe thirst, I consume butter and or cream, obviously raw. Rather than dehydrated, we are delipidated. That means we are deficient in the raw fats that can properly lubricate us. Our thirst is more for raw fat than for H2O. Now that is a bold statement, a bold claim, and it sounds pretty scientific, and it sounds like he knows what he's talking about with the percentages, and I wish I could eat tomatoes. At this moment, I can't because I'm histamine intolerant. So I eat a lot of raw goat milk to satisfy my hydration needs and just a lot of raw fruit. But I love that something so random like a tomato is the #1 most hydrating fruit. And these places are where I recommend going for to get your actual hydration and your lipidation. So next time you eat or drink, just ask yourself, what will give me all the enzymes, nutrients, hydration that my body truly deserves? The answer should most likely be a salad, some fruit, or some vegetable juice like celery juice, some raw milk, a fruit smoothie, maybe with some raw eggs in it. So now you have the information. Go do with it what you will. Play with it, experiment. See how you feel. I mean, if you really are the type of person like me who hates drinking water, then this is your cheat code. So enjoy it and go get some other hydrating things. Buy fruit, not water wrapped in a plastic bottle. You will do yourself and the planet a huge favor. Okay, I love you, and I hope your cells get some joy and nourishment from the information in this video. Lots of love to you. I'll see you in the next one.